We're feeling great. So this is different here. It's a change election. And we have parents that we've met. Matter of fact, we were just going door to door the other day, and a grandmother who was there saying her grandkids had to leave the state of Michigan in tears. In tears, she's telling this story. This is a change election. We are going to make sure that we turn all of that around. We've had 200,000 manufacturing jobs lost in the quarter century that Democrats have been in the United States Senate. We have higher auto insurance rates, higher utility rates in the Midwest. We've lost defense industrial base work. People are ready for a change. And so we're out talking to people about what issues that are important to them. And we've got solutions for them, and I tell you what, we're going to do exceptionally well.
Well, if they're ready for change, they could either go change your way and do something different, which they haven't done in 25 years here in Michigan, right, for a Senate race,
yeah.
Republican, or they can go like really, really radical with El-Sayed. Talk to me about him and the dangers that he and the socialists pose. I mean, this is not a Democratic candidate. You know, people might say, I'm going to vote for the Democrat. You better know what he stands for.
He is too extreme and too radical for Michigan. You know, I put the uniform of the United States on as an officer in the United States Army to stand up for our nation when she needed it. I was an FBI agent, kicked in doors, arrested drug dealers and human traffickers. Lo and behold, I'm standing in a race running against someone who believes America deserved 9/11, somebody that wants to allow criminals and sexual offenders out of prison. This is beyond the pale. And you know, we are here in Michigan, we're hardworking, middle-class families. We kiss our kids, we get them on the bus, we go to work, and we build some of the most amazing things in the world. Right here in Michigan, that's all at risk, all of it. Matter of fact, he wants to ban gas engines. I don't know if anyone told him and showed him on a map. We build things in Michigan. A lot of it is about gas engines. Yeah. It is really shocking to me that the Democrat Socialists of America have pulled this party so far to the left. We have people flying in from New York and California and San Francisco, you know, touting this new Democrat Socialist message. Guess what? I don't believe it. People are going to look at crazy. They're going to look at common sense. I think they're going to go common sense all day long.
The crazy part, Mike, is in a poll, 75% of Democrats say that they would or could vote for a socialist candidate. I don't know if they actually know what they stand for.
So I just saw an interesting study. Most people associate social issues when you say socialism. And so what we're going to have to do is point out what they're talking about. They're structurally talking about changing the government in a way that you don't get it back. And so I think once people understand his positions and how extreme he is, remember, this is a guy that thinks that, you know, we don't need police officers, we should defund them. Prisons, we should let criminals and sexual offenders out of prison. This is a guy that said we deserved 9/11, that could not condemn the terrorist that loaded his car with explosives, drove it into a synagogue to blow up 140 children. He could not condemn. This guy is so extreme. We're actually going to work to get some of these Democrats who love their party and understand the difference. We're going to talk to them. We're going to recruit them in.
Jewish voters who tend to always vote Democratic, they almost don't have a home right now. They are being attacked. And El-Sayed obviously is very anti-Israel. He's attacked Stevens for taking AIPAC money. What do you say to Jewish Democrats or just Jewish voters in Michigan?
So I've had occasion to talk to many of them. And as I tell them, if you vote Republican just once, send a message. You can't allow this anti-Semitic, and it's even worse than that. This is just anti-Jew. Yeah. You cannot let this catch fire as a plank in a major party platform like this. And they're losing their party to this very extreme segment of America. And by the way, it's a segment, it's maybe the biggest part of the Democrat Party today, but it isn't mainstream America. And this isn't talking to people who are still trying to figure out how their kids buy their first home, how they pay their utility bill, which thanks to Democrats, are now the highest in the Midwest here in Michigan, and how to pay their auto insurance bill, thanks to Democrats, highest in the nation right here. So they're going through all those processes. They look at what he's trying to do, which is lead a movement. I'm just trying to let folks get into their first home. I think people are going to choose that.
The unions. So, they typically go Democrat as well. UAW went with El-Sayed. How do you talk to union members, even if they don't endorse you officially, but how do you go get the union members?
I have a UAW for Rogers group that meets, and it's pretty eclectic, that group, very diverse. And you know what? I didn't realize this, but about a third, 30% or so, of delegates now to the UAW come from universities. They're professors or student graduates. They are heavily influencing the positions of the UAW. When that happened, when the UAW endorsed Abdul El-Sayed, guess what? My phone started ringing off the hook. They're like, I'm not giving up my health care. I work too hard to get the best health care in the business. I'm not giving it up. And so we think this is going to work against the establishment labor movement, and we're going to get folks who are coming over to say, hey, again, crazy versus common sense. I'm taking common sense all day long.
Yeah, because crazy will bring chaos.
Oh, absolutely.
Lastly, with Peter's retiring, if you flip this seat red.
When? I'm sorry, when?
Yes, when you flip this seat red, there basically is no path for the Democrats to take over the Senate. So, this seat is critical for maybe the country.
Yeah. And we have felt that all along. And I think it's critical in a whole bunch of ways, not only for the Senate. You have a movement in America that is as close to being anti-American as I have ever seen. And I think it's full of enthusiasm, youthful exuberance, as my dad would say about us five young boys, talking about things that I don't think have fully thought through. You're actually reducing my freedom. The government is going to be the largest expansion of the federal government in history. That's what they're talking about doing. And so we think that it's important, not just because it takes the Senate, which I think is really, really critical, because you can stop the foolishness. But it's also, we need to drive a stake in the heart of this movement that really wants to dismantle America as we know it. And it's filled with hate. This anti-Semitic hate is no movement to build hope and prosperity for the future. Matter of fact, I argue is about as anti-American as you can get.
I got the starter pistol. Let the games begin. I will see you in October. Good luck.
I look forward to it, and we'll see you along the trail.